The CDO's manager that was supposed to be choosing the securities firms called ACA management took its piece and happened to look the other way, exactly what Holman hoped it would do. Emails showed that once CDO manager had even turned the deal down, given their negative views on most of the credits that Paulson had selected. Has wrote the SEC claiming that God didn't understand that Paulson was going to short the deal, which he's a little hard to believe. ACA also invested $42 million in the securities, and its insurance arm took the other sides of the Paulson bet by guaranteeing the $1 million in super senior tranche. Final counterpart was an Abacus veteran, was no long begin led to slaughter. It had bragged unnecessary about its experience in the CDO market, and according to lawsuit later filed against it by the French bank, Caljon was trying to outland its own bad deals on others. In June 2007, also created an instructed investment vehicle called Rainbridge. Rainbridge, like other ships, issue debt that in the used to buy mortgage-backed securities, and cities like Abacus. The debt issued by Rainbridge, which was rated AA, was bought by, among others, King County, Washington, which managed money on behalf of 101 public agencies. This was money used to run schools and fix photons and fund municipal budgets. Bridge was gone down in the fall of 2008, with the investors getting 50 cents of the dollars in a lawsuit. King Country Allen that created Rainbridge for the purpose of moving investment losses of its own balance sheet. For all of Goldman's later claims that it dealt only with the most sophisticated of investors, the fact remains that those investors couldn't fiduciaries investing on behalf of school districts, fire departments, pensioners, and municipalities all across the country. It was their money, at least in part, that was funding the serious game Wall Street was playing. There was another problem with the sophisticated investor defense. These deals were so complicated that in many cases nobody understood the risk, not even the underwriter, yet investor, even sophisticated investor like, were buying deals like Abacus for a simple reason: they didn't want to lose money. AAA rated securities were supposed to be closing things, and investor could get to a risk-free investment. If Goldman knew that a AAA rating no longer meant what it once had, and that these complex securities carried far more risks than their rating implied, that it really hadn't the responsibility to say anything. Shouldn't there haven't been a point at which Goldman just said no? It Paulson beat paid off. It will happen because millions of Americans were losing their homes. Wasn't that worth thinking about before deciding to go through with the Abacus deal? In 2004, Scott Kapnick, who had Goldman's investment ranking department. He said to Fortune, the most powerful thing we can do is say no. But by 2007, Kapnick, like many other senior bankers, had left the firm on March 7 to 2007. Torre sent an emails to his girlfriend. I will give you more details in person on what we spoke about, but the summary of the USA Supreme business situation is it not too brilliant? According to Sparks, that business is totally dead, and the poor little Supreme borrowers will not last so long. All this is giving me ideas for my medium term future, insomuch as I do not intend to wait for the complete explosions of the industry. The same day, the Goldman Sachs Firm-wide Risks Committee heard a presentation from the mortgage desk. According to a summary of the meeting, the first bullet point he read: game over, accelerating meltdown for supreme lenders such as Fremont and New Century. The second bullet point: the street is highly vulnerable, potentially large, especially at Merrill and Lehman. On June 24, Gary Cohn, at the time Goldman's chief operation officers, sent emails to Pioneer and several others, nothing but the big losses Goldman was taking on the mortgage securities it had been unallowed to distribute, and even bigger gains it was booking from in short positions. Vineyard's response tells you what might be happening to people who don't have the big short. Later, the Senate Permanent Subcommittee will charge Goldman with making a fortune $3.7 billion by betting against its customer when they knew the market was going to fall apart, but that's not really that what happened. The hook gains Goldman made from its short position in 2007 were offset by substantial losses from the securities it couldn't get rid of, and that the firms made less money than it might have because at certain points during the meltdown, most notably in the spring of 2007, Goldman covered in short position. It didn't envision the wipe pipe scenario, as Paulson had. Rhetoric was trying to figure out what the market was doing and stay one step ahead of it.